Hi everyone! So today we're going to do a video about Chromebooks. This is the same type of Chromebook as a lot of people got for their students for the school year from Kake and Haida. So this is my daughter's computer. She got one and I'm borrowing it so I can show everybody how to get theirs set up. Chromebooks are made by Google, and so they have all of the Google Suite apps on there. Google Suite is things like Google Docs and Gmail and Google Drive, and they're specifically made for work and school purposes. Because of that, the most important thing to remember is that Chromebooks don't really work very well unless you have internet connection. So that's going to be kind of the kicker with our Chromebooks, is you have to have internet for it to be very useful. That's just the basic overview of what a Chromebook is. So let's get started on how to use it. The first thing I'm going to show you is the power button. It's in the top right corner, that very top right button. And the power button on Chromebooks is obviously to turn it on and off. If I press it again, it'll turn it off. But it also is to wake it up from sleeping. It's if you want to switch users. So the power button is used for everything. It's not like other laptops where you have a separate power button that's just for power. The power button on a Chromebook is just to turn it on and off. So I'm actually going to press it so we can see how to turn it off. And it just gives you the option of power off. And then we'll press it again so you can see it turns it back on. Okay. And now we have our login screen. I have two options on here. They're both mine, but the thing about Chromebooks is that in order to log in, you have to have an email. I'm pretty sure that it needs to be a Gmail address. The students have school emails, at least the junior high and high school students do. The school emails will work with this because the school hosts their email services through Google. So if you have an email that says something at Kake Schools, you can totally use that to log in. Otherwise, you're going to need to make an account. So I have my logins here, but before we do that, I'm going to show you what to do if you need to make an account. At the bottom here, there's three options. There's shut down, browse as guest, and add person. Browse as guest is if you just want to look and see what's on there, or maybe if somebody needs to use the computer but they don't have a login and they just want to check their email or something. That's good for that. Other than that, you can't really do much as a guest. So let's go to add person. And it says sign into your Chromebook. This is where you would sign into your Google email or your Gmail. If you don't have one, you have to go to this option that says create account. So we're going to do that. Okay. You would put your first name and your last name. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to make a fake account. And then next they're going to ask you to make a password, and they'll ask you for a phone number for confirmation so that you can set it up. This is how you would make a Google account. If you don't have a Google account, you have to make one to sign into your Chromebook. If you're not comfortable making one for your kids, you can make one for yourself and sign in for your kids. That's what I'm doing for my daughter because she's 4 and I'm not going to make an email for her yet. So I'm just going to press back and then I will show you once you have an account what to do to log in. Alright, here we can see that I typed in my password and I'm just going to press enter. You can also press this arrow button, but the enter on the keyboard works as well. And that's going to log me in. So it opens up whatever you were working on last. Apparently I was working on Google Docs yesterday. I don't know. The first thing I'm going to show you is the trackpad, which is down here. This is where you're going to use your mouse, which I've been using, but you couldn't see on the camera. The trackpad is a little bit tricky. A lot of the kids know how to use them. I would suggest that if you have a younger student, if you get a separate mouse for them to use, and you can get one that has a cord that just plugs into the USB port on the side. See, there's a USB port on the side. Or you can get a Bluetooth one, which would connect wirelessly, and you wouldn't have to worry about it using up your USB port. Next, I want to show you how to find the apps to use. On the bottom right here, you're going to see 4, sometimes 5 of these apps on the bottom. The circle one is your internet browser, Google Chrome. The envelope next to it is Gmail, and that's how you're going to check your email. The little blue paper is your Google Docs. For middle school and high school students, this is what you can use to write things for your classes that you need to submit on Google Classroom, or if you just need to type anything. This is like Microsoft Word on Windows computers. But it is online based, so if you don't have internet, you can't really access it. And this other one is YouTube, the rectangle with the triangle. These are the apps that they just put on there automatically, so you have quick access to them. On Chromebooks, you can't have icons on the desktop. It's just blank. They made it so that it's not a distraction, I guess. So if you want to access everything else that's already on the computer, you have to go to the bottom left corner. There's this little circle, and it's called Launcher. If you click on it, a menu pops up, and it has your 5 most recently opened apps. This one is Chrome, Settings, Docs, Gmail, Zoom. It'll be different depending on what you used last on yours. If you want to look at the rest, you have to click on this triangle that's at the top. And here you're going to see all the apps that are on your computer already. Over here on the right, there's another circle. That would be the second page of your app menu. You also can rearrange the apps on here. So let's say if you have some educational games for your students on there, but maybe you don't want them right at the top, you could move them around. So for example, I moved this one around so that Gmail was right here, and I moved Zoom around so that it was right at the top because that's what's going to get used the most. You just click on it and then you drag it around with a trackpad. To exit the launcher, you're going to go back to that circle at the bottom left and just click it again, and it'll close out the launcher and you're back to the home screen. The next thing I want to show you is how to connect to Wi-Fi or to a network. When you first set up your Chromebook, it's going to ask before you even log in to connect to the internet. That's the initial setup. Once you are logged in, if you want to check what the status of your internet is, this is how you would do it. We're going to go back to our launcher. Click the circle for launcher. And then in your search bar, you can just type in settings. And it'll pop up. We're going to click on settings. Right at the very, very top is network. Network is Wi-Fi, or if you have an Ethernet cable, this would also be part of network. Right now I'm connected to the Kake School's library Wi-Fi. Here's something that's very important. This blue bar needs to be blue. If it is unclicked and it's gray, that means that your Wi-Fi is turned off and you cannot connect to the internet. So first, if you're having problems with your Wi-Fi connection, go to settings, go to network, make sure that the Wi-Fi is blue, that little bar is blue. Once it is blue, You want to try and connect to a network. So this one connected automatically. It remembers the password. You have the name of the network here. There's a little arrow all the way by that blue bar. If you click on the little arrow, it's going to list all the available networks. And we're already connected to this one. Underneath it says connected. So we don't have to do anything, but this is how you check on it. If it's not working, this is where you're going to go to check. And I want to show you how to put Zoom on the computer. So here, it's kind of complicated to get it from the App Store or the Google Play Store. What I did that worked really well is I went to Google Chrome, which again is that circle, the internet browser. Open it up, and all you have to do is type in Zoom app. If you type in Zoom app, the first thing that will come up is the download center. This is where you're going to download Zoom onto this computer to use. And then you're going to go to the big blue download button, click on it, and here it has, at the top, it takes you to Chrome Web Store. And I already downloaded it on here, but it shows you Zoom. If it's not downloaded yet, you'll have a blue button over here that says Add Extension. Add Extension. And Add Extension means that you are adding on this app to use with your computer. Because I already downloaded it, my blue button says Launch App, but it's still going to be a big blue button. If it's not downloaded yet, again, it'll say Add Extension. One thing I want to show you that's very important, there are certain things that you cannot do unless you are on the user account that is the primary account. So if you want to download certain apps, say you want to put some educational game apps on the Chromebook for your kids to use, you cannot download them on the guest account. You cannot download them on the student's account either. It has to be the primary account. So if you are not on the primary account, that means the one that you initially did with the first email that has all the permissions, you can sign out either by pressing the power button, or you can sign out by going down to where the clock is, where the time is, which is the bottom right, and you can click on that, and that's a shortcut to access a bunch of settings. I'm just going to do that way. I clicked on the time. I'm going to go to sign out. And I'm going to switch users. If you are on an account and you're trying to download something and it's not working or it's not popping up or you can't find what you need to download, sign out and log in to the other account, because chances are that it's the primary account. I will show you how to check and see if it is the primary account. Alright, so I logged in. I'm going to go to my launcher. I'm going to go to settings. I'm going to go to people. And right here at the top it says what my account name is with the picture. I'm going to click on that. My accounts. It has two accounts here because I have two accounts on this computer to log in. Next to this one it says primary account. If you go to people and it only shows one user and nothing says primary account, that means you are logged in on a different account that's not primary. You're only going to see this if you are logged in on the primary account. You have to be logged in on the primary account to access and install certain apps, which I was messing around with it and trying to figure it out, and I found that problem. I feel like a lot of you are running into that problem where you are trying to download Zoom or you were trying to download some things for your students to use and you couldn't download it because nothing was showing up. That's what happened to me. If that happens, log out and log back in onto your primary account. So here we see I am logged into my primary account. Double check. Bottom click on the bottom. Yep. I am logged in there. Now I can go to my Google Play Store and I can search for apps. This one's a little bit different. It's a circle with that colorful triangle. This is the actual Play Store app, and it's only going to be on the primary account. And here I can search for the apps that I want. And they will pop up. Like I said, if you're running into those problems, first check to see that you're on the primary account. And if you're not, log out and log back into the primary account. If you're still having problems after that, you can always contact us at the school and we will try to help you figure it out.